VirtualChiro Clinician. VirtualChiro Clinician is designed to closely mirror the real patient encounter. VirtualChiro Clinician cases are based on actual patient data and cover a broad range of clinical problems. Each VirtualChiro Clinician case simulates the tools and techniques used in a real clinical chiropractic setting, from collecting information regarding the patient's history, to performing physical exams, including specialized chiropractic tests, ordering labs, developing hypotheses, and creating diagnoses and management plans. Students log into VirtualChiro Clinician and pull the chart of their assigned patient. Then they review the patient's presenting information and begin the investigation process. Students gather pertinent patient data in the interview, exam, and lab. We will start with the interview. VirtualChiro Clinician allows the student to select from hundreds of questions to ask the patient. These questions are arranged in categories covering patient history and review of systems. We will open the present illness category and ask the patient to describe her symptoms. The student reviews the patient responses, collecting data in search of a diagnosis. When the student moves the interview on from the present illness questions, VirtualChiro Clinician prompts the student to make a list of their diagnostic hypotheses. The student's hypotheses drive their investigation of the patient's problem. The list of hypotheses is displayed at the top of the interview, exam, and lab screens. Students may refer to, edit, and prioritize their list of hypotheses throughout the patient encounter. Returning to the clinical investigation, the patient's responses in the interview may prompt the student towards certain physical exams. VirtualChiro Clinician allows students to conduct a complete physical exam and assessment of the patient. As an example, we will palpate the patient's spine. First, the student chooses Palpate from the 21 exam tools shown here. The patient's results are displayed when the tool is clicked on the appropriate body part or area. In addition to the exam tools, many specialized tests are available for muscles, joints, and ligaments. For instance, the student investigating this case may click to open the lumbar spine category, select an exam, and review the results. Like the interview and exam sections, the VirtualChiro Clinician Lab is designed to enable students to rule in or rule out hypotheses by illuminating patient issues. In the lab, you may select and review the results of hundreds of lab tests. The list of common labs displays the results of X-ray, MRI, and CT imaging procedures, as well as other frequently ordered labs. A wide collection of more specialized labs can be accessed by clicking these category buttons. Along with the interview, exam, and lab, VirtualChiro Clinician cases add to the learning experience by allowing the student to order patient management during the investigation, consult with experts, access online learning resources, and keep a variety of their own notes, records, and impressions. When the student feels they have all the pertinent information on the patient case, they culminate their clinical investigation with a diagnosis. The student selects one or more of their hypotheses and expands their selection into a complete but concise pathophysiologic diagnosis. Next, the student justifies their diagnosis, indicates how confident they are in their diagnosis, and enters their final diagnosis. With the final diagnosis in hand, VirtualChiro Clinician allows the student to create a final management plan for their patient. The management plan can include any number of appropriate therapies. The choices include specific soft tissue therapies, as well as the spectrum of active therapy, stretching, and exercises. In the case we've been demonstrating, the student also may want to order follow-up clinical investigations and/or decide to consult with another health professional on the patient's case. Immediately after the student completes the patient management plan, the student will see an initial evaluation of their clinical investigation. Stars on this index screen show those areas of the clinical investigation the student completed successfully. On the other screens, stars indicate the items in the case the instructor designated as criteria items and which the student selected. The student can click to see details of all the items, further enhancing the learning experience of the VirtualChiro Clinician case software. VirtualChiro Clinician saves a record of every step the student takes as they're working through a patient case. Questions asked, exams performed, labs ordered, hypotheses, management plans, and notes are just part of the data available for the instructor to review and evaluate in the Student Activity Record utility. Each student's record is displayed on their student record screen. The student's performance is summarized here. The student's overall evaluation score is based on their performance in these 5 major areas of clinical reasoning. The details of the student's performance scores are shown in this column. Instructors may click these buttons to see the items the student selected and to adjust scores for individual students. The individual student's efficiency and proficiency in working through the patient case is displayed here. The student ratings can be compared to the group as a whole. The Student Activity Record utility's scoring standards are set by the instructor. Areas of clinical reasoning can be weighted to emphasize your educational goals for a group of students. Also among the Student Activity Record utility's many features